What a topic we are discussing today. Frauds in real estate transactions. Frauds with NRIs in real estate transactions. Frauds in sales of property, frauds in purchase of property. What I'm going to be discussing today is not what the law says, the remedies available. What I am discussing today is the case studies, the cases that our firm has handled on real estate transaction frauds. So the first case that I deal with, one case I'm going to deal is the sale. The second one I'm going to deal with the purchase. Now the sale of property. Sale of property goes that there's a lady who was living in the UK, died about a decade and a half ago. Her sons come to India to sort out her real estate, her property in Chandigarh, her bank accounts in Chandigarh. The sons come here, they meet somebody who says that, you know what, in the estate office there is a problem with your file. Now what is the problem with your file? Somebody is claiming to be your mother and has filed documents for transfer of property and she is trying to sell the properties. Our clients were like, oh my God, what has happened? They go to the estate office and yes, as it was said, they see the documents there. They go back to these people because anybody who comes here for 15 days, 20 days, you're dealing with the turmoil, the emotional turmoil of what has happened with your mom, and then this happens to you. So any which ways engage these people. They said, okay, sell our property at whatever rate is possible. We don't want to deal with courts, frauds, police stations because that's a scary picture that was given to them. Any which ways, they entered into an agreement to sell with these people, saying that, oh, you know, the property now, let's say it was an X price and now it is going to be at least 50% of the price. The clients agree because those are the only people they knew of here. No lawyers, no professionals, property dealers, simple property dealers. So they can come in here, they meet these people, they enter into an agreement to sell. 2 years later, they contact my firm saying, Manisha, you know what, we have this situation, we have these buyers and we need to come here to complete the real estate transaction. Now what shocked me was first the price because it was not even close. Like, you know, there could be a difference of 20-30 lakhs somewhere, but it could not be, you know, 1/3 of the price that you're going to be selling your property for. Anyway, which was, I asked them, why are you selling the property at this price? And their answer to it was, you know, there was a dispute any which ways. So they wanted us to complete the transaction on their behalf, just the documentation, so forth and so on. Now interestingly, when they come here, they contact me and they say the buyers are not ready because the buyers are out of country and also we need you know, earlier in those days you required some documentation from the estate office, Chandigarh. Now when I checked the file, I saw that there were papers of another lady claiming herself to be their mother, so forth and so on. And I told them, I said, this was so simple. You would have appeared in the court. There is no way the estate office would have done anything. An FIR could have been registered, which I wouldn't recommend at this stage because people who are living abroad, and if you are the complainant, you also need to be present in the court at every date of hearing. Any which ways, you will not believe what happened. The buyers backed out. The buyers say that there is an issue with the documentation, there is issue with the properties. They came up with n number of reasons saying this property now we are not going to buy, or if you want to sell the property, you're going to even sell it cheaper. Now when I met the buyers and I asked them, I said, you have been in possession of the property. You are the person who told them about this fraud. You were very much clear as to what was happening in the property and still you agreed to buy the property at a price which is 1/3 of the actual price, and now today you are telling my clients that you don't want to buy it. But this is the fraud that was played to them, with them. And can you believe it? What happened is that everything was written down in the agreement. Because our clients did not go through the agreement and that's where they got stuck. Today, the property, what they were buying at 1 crore, 1.5 crore, is about 14 crores. And imagine even at that time when they were trying to sell when they sold the property to them, it was not less than 7.5 crores. So what I'm saying is what frauds? Now this is a fraud that has happened. Of course, we won the case, they filed litigation, we won the litigation, so forth and so on, and got back their property, sold the property to somebody else. But the point is, imagine that for 3, 4, 5 years of litigation, the constant dealing with authorities, so forth. Why did it happen in the first place? It happened at the first place because The files were not checked by the clients at the estate office. The clients did not go through the agreement themselves and never realized that the contents of the agreement was something which was against them. And they were challenged, and that content of the agreement were written down by these property dealers who claimed to be the good wishers or the well-wishers of our clients. So this is the kind of frauds that can happen towards a sale. So anytime anybody does an agreement to sell, very conscious about agreement, documentation, etc., which is going to be taken up in the next video on the real estate transaction. Now the second part is the purchase of property. What frauds happen in purchase? Sale is fine, because you're selling something that belongs to you. Now what happens when you're buying something? Very interesting case that I'm going to we've dealt with. Our client comes down to India. He's shown an X property. The person says, oh, you know what, this is the plot that we are selling it to you, and this is value so and so. Enter into an agreement, does a sale deed. Can you believe it? What is this fraud? The fraud is the property that was shown to him is not the property which was sold to him on paperwork. And imagine the documentation is done, it's read over by the client, so forth and so on. So everything was in place, done up, because our client never verified with the maps what was shown to him, never did a due diligence on this entire property. Now thankfully, because this company had done so many frauds with other people, we were able to get him his money back and cancel the sale deeds through a police complaint. But other than that, if the company, it was just one individual who had done it, it was impossible to get his documentation or to get his money back, because he has seen the property, he has seen that this is a plot X, he has signed the documents. It is buyer beware. It should have been his duty and responsibility to engage somebody to verify the details, do a due diligence on the property that he's buying, which he did not do. And because he did not do so, that is when he got stuck. Thankfully, it was a company which was doing frauds time and again with people. They got stuck in that. If it was one individual, and our clients were able to get back the property, if it was one individual, and it would have happened with our client, there was no way we could have been able to get his money back. So for all the people who have heard these two case studies, there are zillion cases which happen in a similar fashion towards sale and purchase of properties. Our next video is on how real estate transactions must happen in India. Documentation required, paperwork required, all the things that you must do and must not do will be taken up in the next video. Hope you like the video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Bye.